Morning, and welcome to Transaction TV. I'm your host, Anthony Atanasio, CEO of Hawk Strategies. And joining me today is my good friend Chris Feinthel, Assistant Commissioner of Operations at the New Jersey Department of Transportation. Chris, thanks for being with us this morning.
Oh, I appreciate the invite. I love it.
Excited to have you here. Our 50th anniversary of Transaction, our biggest and best yet.
Sure.
So Chris has the real easy job at DOT. When it snows, when something breaks, falls down, catches on fire, falls into something,
Sure.
right? It's the keep it all moving department, right?
Absolutely.
CPM
Absolutely.
designs it and delivers some capital projects, but operations is, of course, responsible for maintaining our system. Talk to me and our audience a little bit about your unit, because your unit has evolved significantly in the last 10 to 15 years.
It has.
Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and the main core competencies.
Sure. So I guess, and thank you for having me.
course.
This is a great opportunity, and I like being here. It's the right energy. It's my kind of people. So
Nice.
this is a great opportunity. Yeah, we continue to evolve, and we continue, I guess, to get sharper in our practice. But the reality is, I keep saying New Jersey's like an old house. Our infrastructure, some of our roadways are over 100 years old. And I think rightfully so. There's been leadership. It's past several commissioners have understood operations and maintenance that we have to make much more of an investment in that to take care of the old house. Some of our roads are 100 years old. We have a couple bridges that are well over 100. So we're holding those together until Parthoz and his team on CPM, who did a fantastic job, can replace them. But it's challenging and exciting. But like I said, we've evolved, and I'm going to get into it because former leadership has seen the investment has to go to the operations and maintenance side now to take care of anything. We're not going to build the new Pulaski Skyway anymore.
Right.
Like, our infrastructure is pretty built out in New Jersey. There's a lot of exciting capital projects, but there's not like the big signature things necessarily that are going to come through. What I will say is we've really gotten sharpened by our hiring practices. We're not necessarily like the traditional DPW anymore. Like, we're trying to hire professional workers that are going to manage and really repair infrastructure. It's not a good use of my resources if our guys are picking up litter necessarily, or just cutting down a tree branch. Like, we want to be out there fixing the inlets, doing maybe some permanent patch or crack sealing, really taking care of that infrastructure. Some may be minor bridge work. And then our partnership with our contractors. My slice of the capital program is that this past year, operations had a record year. We were $426 million.
That's incredible.
So we were,
and just for our viewers, when I went to the department in 2011, the operations was delivering about $125 million a year of construction.
Yeah.
So cheers to you and to your staff that you've almost quadrupled that.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it in our system. I can,
Right.
as a user of the system.
Absolutely, Anthony. And thank you for seeing that, I guess, and acknowledging that. 10 years ago, I thought when I first got to the DOT, there were some roads that I would call embarrassing. In hindsight, you could say, like,
Sure.
New Jersey's too good for this to let a road get this poor. We really don't let that happen anymore. We still have our challenges. I'm sure we're going to talk about winter. This was a tough winter on the infrastructure. But like I said, former leadership and current leadership have allowed me to make the right investments in. And I was starting to say, and I want to say, our contracting partners on the maintenance side have been phenomenal.
That's right.
They're easy to work with. There's a fair amount of them. Our bids are getting more and more competitive because more folks are getting into the maintenance game, maybe realizing working with my team isn't so scary. Feedback 10 years ago would be like, I don't know about working with you guys because it's an unknown.
Right.
We're not bidding on a hard job. I don't know where you're going to send me, Chris. And they don't like that uncertainty.
Sure.
I think we've built up a lot of equity with the contracting community that we're going to do things the right way. We're going to push. We're going to get a lot done.
Right.
But when we put that work out on the street, we're going to use it the right way, and we're going to use all of it.
Well, yes, as somebody who represents a large portion of the construction industry, that is the feeling.
Yeah.
This is a better department to work for than has been in the past. So,
Sure.
I mean, you're doing a great job. I mean, to manage 4 times the construction load, you're obviously doing something right, that the agency has empowered you to do that.
Sure.
But we all know contractors are not timid, and they let it
No.
be known when they're not happy.
No, they know.
And they're happy.
Yeah.
So kudos to you and your team. So yeah, let's talk about a really fun subject that everybody loves, snow.
Sure.
I'll never forget, when I was at Transit and DOT, I learned to start cursing snow because it meant I had to sleep on the floor of the headquarters somewhere, or be in overnight away from the family, and that is a sacrifice you and your team makes. But we had a mild 5 years.
Yes.
Lots of small incidents.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you have to mobilize every time.
Yep.
Which people don't understand.
Right.
But boy, did we have snow this winter, right? Everyone knows it. We had two
did.
blizzards. And cheers to the DOT, because we didn't lose roads.
Sure.
We didn't have snowmageddons and crises. And we had a brand new governor who...
I believe Governor Sherrill's third day was the blizzard.
Right?
Was the first blizzard.
And some of the first social media I got to see of our governor was her wearing a DOT jacket with you.
Yeah.
And with Deputy Commissioner Bertoni and a bunch of the other crew.
Excellent. Yeah.
And you know what? It gave the governor an incredible firsthand view of how amazing the department is when things are going bad for everyone else.
Right.
So talk a little bit about this year's blizzards and what had to go, how to make it happen.
This was certainly a very active year. We had 63 numbered events, which was a record for DOT. We've been in the 50s before. People don't realize that. I'll activate sometimes if it's 35 degrees and raining up in North Region, because you just don't know. We're on that razor's edge of, it could get icy tonight, Sussex County especially. So we have a lot more numbered events than the public might know about.
Right.
I didn't think in the governor's first month we'd have the largest storm in 10 years, followed by the largest storm in 30 years. Yeah. But there it was. And that first blizzard was followed by the ice, where it just froze everything down.
Yes.
It made it very, even maybe more difficult to manage than most people would think there. But Governor Sherrill was excellent. I will say I was impressed. I never in a million years thought I'd be on a Teams call at 2 a.m. with the governor on a sports storm. A snowstorm, but she got her hands into it and really wanted to understand how it all worked, not in a micromanaging way. She has very insightful questions, but just wanted to be in the mix with the team, which I think the team that gave us a little more pep in our step of, all right, the governor's office is in it with us and they're really pushing forward. So that was great.
That's leadership, right? Leading from the front.
It was, it was excellent there. Little bit inside baseball, but where I was even more stressed out this year was this was the first year of our 5-year cycle with the contractors. So we bid out the plowing and spreading contracts. They go on a 5-year cycle. Year one can be chaotic. Right. New people are learning new sections. People will bid. I get Route I-80. I have 10 trucks. I go from milepost 0 to 10. That's my section. So when we're teaching people new sections, it sounds very simple, but there's intricacies to the ramp system, to this, teaching drivers where they want to go. Within that, there's spots that get cold faster, shaded versus not. There's the science and there's the art of snow plowing. So a little bit stressful there, just to make sure that our contracting partners were comfortable, because they got thrown into a really tough winter, and it was a little bit of a grind there. I'm really proud to say everything came out great. Both storms, we met our objective of, we're back to blacktop 90 minutes after the last snowflake.
That's amazing.
We didn't lose a single road, knock on wood.
Knock on wood,
I'm not going to say things didn't get ugly. There was times
with that much snow, that much volume, it's going to happen.
Especially the first storm was, there was a pocket there where we got 3 inches in 1 hour. There's no amount of plows on the planet that's going to keep up with that.
And flamethrowers for that. Right?
So it's just like, you got to just buckle down and have some grit and get yourself through it.
Right.
And from the governor's office to our new commissioner and really the team at DOT, I think it was the right vibe, the right expectations, and we knew once that storm passed New Jersey, we had everything in play to get it open very quickly, which was great.
That's incredible. And it really is the culmination, as you said, of years of work. Your predecessor, Andrew Tenard, who revolutionized the operations unit. I became an assistant commissioner. I was deputy chief of staff at New Jersey Transit. I became an assistant commissioner because of snow, because the DOT lost Route 36 all those years ago, in 2010, and a failed snow operations ramifications ripples through the entire state. So the fact that we had 2 record storms within a month of each other, and there was no impact, negligible impact at all, at most, to the motoring public. Cheers to you. Cheers to the men and women of the department. It's a well-deserved recognition.
This is an old number, but NJDOT did a study for us, and this is pre-COVID, so the number is probably double, maybe triple. But at that time, if the state had to completely close for a day due to snow, the economic impact is over 300 million. Sorry. Wow. That was like 2018.
So let's do some inflation.
Probably $1 billion now. Who knows? With the current prices, but that's why we take it a little seriously, or very seriously. That's why I remind my staff I'm a little bit of a maniac at 2 in the morning, because by 6 a.m. it's got to be open.
Right.
We're our critical economic driver of this whole country, sitting between 2 major cities.
Yep.
We have to be open.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that type of leadership is what the taxpayers of New Jersey should know that they have. And we want to thank you for coming on to the Transaction TV today to talk a little bit about the great work you're doing at the department. And on behalf of the transaction and transportation community, we look forward to working with you in your role for many years to come. So, Chris,
thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks.
And thanks for joining us for Transaction TV.